Hey guys, so today, as you can see, I'm going to be talking about my top 10 favourite iPhone apps. I've seen some similar videos to this, and I've also done a What's on my iPhone tag video, which I'll probably update at some point this year. But I was making a list on Listography, which is a website I use, and you basically just write lists on it. It's for people who are crazy about lists like me, and I wrote one about my favourite apps, so I decided to condense it into my top 10 and turn it into a video for you guys. I really like seeing what other apps people have on their phones, which I think is the main attraction to the What's on my iPhone videos. Otherwise it is just someone going through their phone, and I enjoy coming across new apps that I maybe haven't heard of before, especially when it's something good that I start to use in the future, and some of these that I'm going to mention are definitely things that I've discovered through videos like this. So I'm just going to get started. And number 10 is WordSeek Free, which I got about a week or two ago. I think there's a paid version as well, judging by its name, and I think I also saw it when I was looking for this one on the App Store, and I'm sure it'll have some sort of improvements because it's the paid version. But basically it's just a game similar to Scramble, if you've ever played Scramble. That was a similar app I had on my iPod Touch a long time ago. I'm not sure if it still exists. But you basically have a 4x4 grid of letters, and you have to sort of join up the letters and make words and stuff. I found it really addictive, and I really enjoy this app. I don't have a huge number of games on my phone, but I spend a lot of time commuting and travelling and stuff, so I always find the time to play these pointless, mindless games on my phone. And number 9 is Wunderlist, which I assume is pronounced Wunderlist. It's made by a German company, and it's perfect for people who are crazy about writing lists and checklists and to-do lists, as you can have a load of different lists and then check them off as you go along. This one I came across in a video by Further Force, who I think was doing either a What's on my iPhone tag or my top apps or something like that, and she mentioned this, and I've used it avidly ever since. The original version didn't act as a social network site, although I think the new one does. I do prefer the original version though, because they sort of changed the layout a little bit now, and I just prefer how it used to be. But still, it's a really good app and I'll still use it. Number 8 is Calendar Plus, and I bought this because I had a real problem with the integrated calendar on the phone. As a lot of phones do, you can't see a large number of days at once, as well as the things you're doing. The one on the iPhone, you can see like a whole month, but you just have a dot on the days when something is happening, which I don't think is good enough. So I bought Calendar Plus. I think it was free, but I might stand corrected, I'm not quite sure. You can see a whole month at a time, plus everything that's happening on each day. You can colour code things, and it's really easy to organise and view, so I would really recommend this app if you don't like the integrated calendar like me. And number 7 is Scotty, and I bought this for $2.99 a while ago, and I would definitely say it was worth the money. If you're like me and you don't like having to transfer things through wires and cables and all that confusing stuff, this one wirelessly transfers things from your phone to your computer using Wi-Fi, which I find is really helpful. I've had some problems with it, like sometimes it won't recognise my computer's there. You basically set it up the same way as you would Bluetooth, so you search for devices and then connect them, and you send your files or whatever. Sometimes it hasn't worked, but I would say 99% of the time it does work, and I would definitely recommend this app. Number 6 is a National Rail app. This isn't especially useful for people outside the UK, but for those in the UK, especially for people who travel a lot on the trains, such as me. I've been a commuter nearly every day for the last 7.5 years, so this has been really useful during the time I've had it, especially if you're doing something irregular or abnormal from your normal routine and you want to see when the trains are, where they go, how long they take, things like that. This app's really good for that. Recently they also updated it so you can now see ticket prices, which is something that I thought was lacking before, and I think has made it a lot better now. It's really accurate up to the second, and it'll also tell you if things are delayed, why they're delayed, how long they could be delayed for. Speaking as someone who uses trains a lot, I would say this is a really helpful app. Number 5 is PicFrame, and this is a pretty standard app. There's a lot of different apps where you can create collages of your photos on your iPhone. They all have different names and have various subtleties between them, but they all do pretty much the same thing. This is the first one I got, I think, so I've just stuck with this one. It's also really good because you can create photos of different sizes, so you can have 1x1, which is a square, 3x4, 1x2. I use this for my YouTube thumbnails, as you can create pictures of the right size. It's also really good for Instagram if you use that. Number 4 is the Shuttercal app, and I've used their website since mid-2011 when I started my most recent 365 project, and I've used it ever since, even though it's been nearly 2 years since I started it. This app's great if you take the majority of your 365 pictures on your phone, which is what I do now. It makes it really easy to quickly upload them with captions to your calendar. I'll also do a video more in depth about my 365 projects and stuff later on, possibly when it's been 2 years. But if you are planning on doing a 365 project, I would really recommend using Shuttercal, as it's a really great website. There's a lot of people who use it, and I think it's a really great layout for creating a 365 project. It's really easy to see visually, so Go and check it out, definitely. You can go and check out mine as an example if you want. I've seen recently that there's a couple of other apps that do similar things now, and they have a similar layout where you see a whole month and each day there's a picture. I can't remember their names. I saw 2, I believe. Now that I've got Shuttercal, I would definitely stick with this one because I've used it for so long. But these ones seem to do a similar job. I haven't looked into them in enough depth to tell you what I think of them, but there's definitely some other apps that do a similar thing if you want to use an app rather than a website. And number 3 is Picfx, which has a really large variety of different effects that you can put on your photos. I'm not sure if this is standard for a lot of apps, but you can also layer them so you can use more than one effect on the same photo. There's a lot of similar apps that allow you to put effects on your photos, but I feel like a lot of them have really sort of obnoxious effects that don't enhance your pictures at all, in fact make them worse. But this one doesn't seem to have many of those effects at all, so I really like this one. It's also great for Instagram for people who use it. And number 2 is Instagram, which I've used pretty much the whole time I've had my phone. It's a really great social networking site. I really enjoy it. I think it's a little bit different to everything else that's out there. Not a lot of my friends have Instagram or have iPhones and use Instagram, so it's really nice that my feed is never too clogged up and stuff, so that's really cool. It's great that it's expanding into other apps for other devices such as Android. There's also an app for the computer as well, and I think they've just started a website because there didn't actually used to be a functioning Instagram website for a long time, I don't think, but I think that exists now, and I would definitely recommend Instagram. Even if you're just going to try it out for a little bit, definitely go for it. And number 1, this isn't too much of a surprise for people who know what I spend the majority of my time on my phone doing. My number 1 app is Temple Run, and I've used this since February when someone mentioned it to me. I'd heard about it before and I thought it was stupid and I didn't want to get it at all, and then I got it in February and I have been addicted ever since. And everyone else who I know who played it has moved on and, you know, left Temple Run behind, but I can't seem to get it out of my life. I've got a high score of 10.7 million now, which I'm pretty happy with, although I'm always trying to beat it. I've never found a game so addicted before. There's nothing better than bettering yourself. If you don't mind taking the risk of losing large amounts of your time for a while, I would definitely recommend trying this app as it's really fun. I feel like something a little bit more productive should be my number 1 app, but this app has captivated me for far too long for it not to be. So those are my top 10 favourite apps. I hope you found something helpful in there, maybe something you hadn't heard of before, something you want to try now. I would recommend all 10 of these, regardless of what you like doing. It might introduce you to something new. If you have another app that you're crazy about or a top 10 of your own, leave a video response or comment below with your favourites. I love seeing what other apps are out there, maybe ones that I haven't heard of before. And I read all my comments, so I shall see if there's anything good and I will tell you if I've tried it and liked it. So anyway, thank you for watching this video. I shall have another one up soon. I shall see you later. Bye!